Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th, The Sky in Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and Sonny's Pizzeria. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Welcome, Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment lovers. Coming up, the members of CoJo & Co. talk about the unique style and original songs they play as their debut EP, titled Back Home, is out now, available wherever you find your digital music. Their blend of several genres makes for a refreshing sound as well as a great music choice. Lots of southern rock. There's some country. They put it together well, though. In fact, what's great about today's show? Yeah, they have the copyrights, so we actually get to play music at the end of it. Plus, we'll tell you who or what gets this week's honorable mention, as well as choose another winner of Pizza with a Podcaster. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
What you have in your hand to be able to drink with would be determined probably by when, where, how you're listening. But whatever it is, lift it high and toast to not losing any money because we canceled our scheduled trip to Nashville. Yeah, maybe many of you might have been in a similar situation with that big mother of a storm we had last week. Mother Nature forced the Sioux Falls Regional Airport to close and decided that we needed a staycation. But the day we were getting pelted with heavy snow and blizzard conditions, it was a record high of 85 in Nashville. But thankfully, we got everything refunded and have now rescheduled to mid-October. Please, no snowstorm then. The Weekend Eve Toast brought to you by The Sky in Tea. The Sky provides all-caps fun. That is best had with friends. Have fun playing darts, shooting pool. Have fun listening to great live music from local musicians. Or have fun singing at karaoke. You can be that local musician then. Have fun testing your knowledge at trivia. Or maybe you need some more room to hold a company party or hold a benefit of some sort. Well, the Sky's big back room fits the bill. No matter what's going on at the Sky, it's local and it's lively. It's time to choose a lucky winner of Pizza with a Podcaster. Everyone that follows the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook or Instagram automatically entered to win a free pizza from Sonny's Pizzeria. We pick a winner each week. This week, we say congratulations to Brett Knutson. We'll be in touch with you, Brett, to get you all set up with some jowl-dropping, show-stopping, thin-crust pizza. Pizza with a Podcaster is brought to you by Sonny's Pizzeria, right across from USF at 26th and Waltz, and Sonny's at 81 on South Phillips. Check out the very fun and incredibly flavorful menu online, sonnyspizzeria.com. Honorable mention. So what made Dave smile or laugh or guffaw, or maybe shed a tear of happiness? Well, I'm not quite sure where to put it, but I'm just going to call this one honorable mention goes to the silver linings. You know, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. You've heard that. Well, when plans change, just make the best of it. So I didn't get to tour the Jack Daniels Distillery or tour the Ryman Auditorium. But what I did get to do was binge watch some shows, go to the Improv Falls show, and watch the movie The Fabelmans at the Grand and Glorious State Theater. So when life gives you lemons, make lemonade and enjoy the silver linings. Coming up next, CoJo and Co. on the Dave Holly Hour.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
For him, every day is a Holly day. Here again, Dave Holly.
Welcome back, everybody. I know I really have to record it. Just push a button so that it says, "It's always a pleasure to talk about Sioux Empire arts and entertainment." And it's even more of a pleasure anytime we have new guests on. And before we started this conversation, today's guests were even talking about that, the fact that there have been a number of guests on this show, and we are very proud that we can bring you different arts and entertainment. And today we're going to talk to all the members of CoJo and Co., which includes Colin, Cameron, Josh, and Dave. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks.
Yeah, boy, what a nice harmony that made, too, huh? All the way around. So, Colin, this is kind of your band that was put together, is that correct?
Yeah, we kind of, well, I guess it's been 4 years, but kind of got it started. Had a guy on bass coming out and just trying to put the pieces together, and then Josh came a little shortly after that and has been sticking around ever since, and then kind of changed up here the last year. Dave and Cam joined us here just about a year ago. So, yep.
All right. So I know that you play drums.
Yes.
Yeah. And how long you been playing drums? Was that a lifetime thing?
Yeah,
was it the first instrument you went to?
Yeah, first instrument was around 4 years old, so drums. And,
wow.
Ended up moving to piano in Oregon around 16 and picked up other instruments after that.
And see, that's interesting to hear drums before piano, because most people around this area, if they were going to play drums in band, they were required to take up piano.
Take piano,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did it in reverse.
Total reverse.
All right. Well, so what other instruments in besides drums and piano?
Organ will probably be my next one, probably C2 or C3 organ, really
Okay.
churchy organ. Second one or the third would probably be bass. I just picked up like guitar last year, but I'm not like the man over here.
All right, Cameron, what about you?
I play bass in the band. I've been playing for, honestly, not very long, probably 5 years or so. Playing that, and I grew up in school playing the cello. So it was easy to pick it up, I suppose, but otherwise not much musical background.
From one string to another.
Yeah. I played a little bit of drums back in high school. In a punk rock band years ago, and it was pretty short-lived, but it was a good experience nonetheless. So, yeah, that's my background.
All right, Dave, your turn. What's the background in music? Because I just have the feeling that this might be a good portion of the story.
Well, I've certainly got a longer background because I'm older. I guess I started playing guitar in about 1965, in the soul music era, and had a lot of fun with that. Played with a lot of great local musicians. And then about 20 years
Member
ago,
of the Rock and Roll Hall
Hall
of
of
Fame,
Fame.
South
Yeah.
Dakota,
Yeah.
right over here.
yeah, I was in a great band back in the early 70s with Jimmy Goins and Mark Lane and Tom Bow, and we called ourselves Wonder Band. And we had that honor in 2014 of getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. I took up steel guitar about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And had a lot of fun with it. And it's really a blast playing with these guys because it's an instrument you use to embellish and try and fit in the cracks. And there couldn't be a better band to do it with than these fellas.
Yeah. All right. So, Colin, you had Josh already, and then you get these two other guys to come in. What was the impetus for the change or addition, and what has been the great point about that then?
Yeah, well, Cam joined us. Our bass player left. He was kind of a bluegrass and jam band guy, so he headed that way, and we brought Cam on board. And then we were kind of just trying to get Cam to learn the ropes over the course of a couple months. And I always said, well, I'd love to play with a steel player, but man, there's probably nobody around here that that plays it. And he goes, oh, I know one. And I said, it'd have to be like the perfect scenario. He'd probably have to be really good to where he could just sit down and learn it, because we're not going to take any time with him. And he better be really easygoing too. So I doubt that'll work. And Dave showed up, and we just blasted through about 4 hours of music and had a ball. Here we are.
Well, you're blasting through all sorts of new music right now, too, aren't you?
Yep, that's right.
Because you have an album coming out, and what is the name of the album? I've had the privilege of, because of your producer being a friend, giving me a preview, so I love it. It's got a lot of great things from some of my favorites in Southern rock, country, and so forth, and I can get that vibe from it. So what's the album, the title of the album, and then give us a rundown on the tracks that are on it.
Sure. Well, it's a 6-song. It's called Back Home, and that's awesome. You got to hear it, and
yes,
we sure do appreciate Mark Dom sending that your way, and we sure loved working with Mark too. So yeah. I mean, it's got quite a range. It's got some kind of old country sort of styled songs. It's a lot of rock too. I mean, it's got big drums, big bass, loud guitars, and steel guitars, and a guy hollering over the top of it. So,
what got you interested in music?
Oh, I definitely wanted to. I was interested in it from being a kid. I listened to the oldies station with my Walkman at night all the time. And then I wanted to play drums, and Mom and Dad were like, no drums. So then I was like, electric guitar. And they went, well, we can get you a guitar. And I said, no, electric guitar. So then I had to go get my own at the pawn shop. Kind of went from there.
And buy your own amp at the same time, huh?
Well, I wasn't allowed to have an amp for a little while. We had to make sure I was sticking with it. But so
they wanted a a little conviction first.
Yeah. And I went and
he made up for it. He owns a whole fleet of Marshall amps. So, yeah, he made up for not having an amp early on.
You guys also have a big summer ahead, and it looks like you're busy starting in May. And ironically, it ends up that first Fridays of May happen to be Cinco de Mayo this year, right? And you're over in Mitchell at that point?
That's right.
Yeah.
Just by the Corn Palace.
Oh, fun, Okay, you ever played in the Corn Palace itself?
We not played in there, but we played actually the exact same first Friday last year.
Okay.
In the same place, so we've been on that one.
Well, good. But what do you enjoy about getting a band together and getting out there and performing? What's the high that you get from it?
I mean, it's really great when you feel like you're connecting. The thing about playing this type of music for 4 hours or something, you go into a dirty little bar or great big bar, and sometimes they're pretty hostile. They're the first hour, I always like to say, they're deciding if they love you or they hate you. So that you can't quite figure out. But if they don't leave, they don't hate you. And then the second hour, they start to get warm up, and then third hour, they're having a really good time. That's how the dive bar cycle seems to work.
And lubricated.
First hour is a little tense. Always a waste of good songs, too.
Are you thinking that maybe you need the chicken coop wire around you like the Blues Brothers did? Yeah, we got both.
I've felt like that before. I don't know about these guys.
Josh, tell us what got you interested in getting into this band then, when it's first started with Colin,
Yeah.
and now what you enjoy about everybody else that's in it.
Yeah, sure. One of my buddies had hit me up. Previously, I was in a different band, Jones and Company, and I ended up talking to one of my buddies named TK, Tyler Kuzman. He was like, "Oh, I got a buddy looking for a drummer." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna go check it out." We started playing together and loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Awesome.
I had to stick around.
Yeah. All right, so Cameron, your story starts with a cello before a bass.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What attracted you to that, and at what age was that?
Oh, it was pretty early on. I bet that was middle school, and it was I had to do something, and I wasn't any good at sports, so figured I better find something that was easy. But of course, you pick the heaviest instrument that they could give you and lug that around instead. So, and that was my sport, I guess. But
Yeah, you got your workout by carrying
I got it
that.
in there anyway.
Yeah. And so what was it that made you switch over to bass, or not switch over, but add bass to your repertoire and then get into a band?
Well, there was a friend of mine here in town, and her dad was looking for a bass player. Their bass player was singing at the time, too, and didn't really want to do it anymore. So I just kind of said, I think I could try that, and just stepped up to the plate and grabbed one of their basses, and I said, yeah, I think I can do this, and just kind of fell into it. And that's where I met Dave, actually, is, further on down the road there. He ended up joining up with us as a lead guitar player in that group, and, he's always been that guy to have in your back pocket ever since. So he was a great addition then and a great addition now.
Colin, get us into this group as to what it means to have this particular four pieces together.
Well, I think we try to engage our crowd as far as, we play a lot of country and stuff, but we all come from pretty different backgrounds, and it seems to mesh well, as far as I can tell. Not always. Sometimes we'll hash something out and go, nah, this isn't working.
Not for us.
Yep. So, I think just we try to, it's got to be catchy. It's got to have a groove. That's what we like, and we like to play our instruments. So sometimes we get a little extravagant, and people are standing on tables and being obnoxious and having a good time. But as long as everyone else is, that's our main aim. So,
original tunes. This album is all original?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's always great, because you know what that means is that after our conversation is over, as long as you right now say, yes, Dave, you have my express consent to play what's copyrighted by me.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yep,
there
we'd
we
be
go.
happy.
We got that. Yeah, so we'll play something at the end of the conversation. But, what's it take to write in your perspective? What do you enjoy about it? What are those challenges?
Well, we kind of feeling it out here. I played a lot of guitar. I wasn't a singer, and then I decided I was going to try and be a singer. And I guess I love country music, and I was raised on it, but I didn't like it at the time. It's one of those things that soaks into you, and you don't get it until you see it. When I was down with my wife in Texas for a while and got to see how that worked, I was like, wow. I was a hard rock guy for a long time, and so anyway, when it comes to writing for me, at this point, it's if I don't come to practice with a good roadmap, it's hard to paint a picture for the guys who are sitting next to me trying to figure out what part they might put to that. So I'm particular. I throw a lot of my own stuff away, but at the same time, when I have something in my head that I'm driving at, I'll get it laid out. I'm pretty selfish with it. But then when I get it out there, I'll say, guys, is this bad? Is this good? And at that point, I feel good about it being shut down or moved around.
So I'll say something about Colin. He writes songs from the heart. When he sings them, he's lived it, he's experienced, and he means it. And this old boy from Sheridan, Wyoming, is a terrific songwriter. And it's a pleasure to be part of this outfit.
See, now, hearing that
Well, that's
from
nice
somebody
of
that's
you, Dave.
inducted into the South Dakota Rock and Roll, you got to be going, wow, thanks.
Well, that was
Appreciate
really
that.
nice of you,
Yeah.
Dave. I'll pay you after practice. Get done
Oh,
here.
and speaking of pay, we have to mention what you brought into the studio tonight. I happen to be a Jack Daniels fan, but we were talking, and you said that, well, I might bring you a little something, and it's Bullet Bourbon from Frontier. It's Frontier whiskey, and we're Kentucky straight bourbon. Oh, you've made your way to the top of the list, Colin.
All right, that's what I was trying to do. I wanted to bring you Black Fork Farms. They're here in South Dakota. That's
well,
really good too.
and for that, you're going to get a pen and a koozie and a sticker.
Right.
And if Bullet is listening, we are
man.
open to sponsorship.
Yep, sure.
We appreciate you.
True,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, for my part, I pretty much gargle that while we're playing because I can't drink beer. It makes me burp. And I was trying to sing.
See, I can't drink beer because of my diabetes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I can drink beer, but when I'm trying to sing and burp at the same time, it just doesn't come out right.
It's never a good sight.
Nope.
You said sight, not sound. So it's
That too.
there's a visual to this that is there.
You got to duck
Yeah.
behind the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Everything we do, we got to turn around and face Josh so the crowd don't see you, you know.
Yeah.
So he catches all the brunt of it.
Yeah, the worst of it is I wear the inner, so it's
Oh,
like, you know,
yeah, no kidding.
It's
All right, so you've been rehearsing the longest with Colin then.
Yes.
Is he, spot on when he says that he's a little harsh? And he's got his direction he wants it to go?
I mean, he has his direction. The good thing about it is, when it comes to collaboration, we're really good at it.
Yeah.
So, if I play something he doesn't like, he's like, yeah, let's try something else. Or if he plays something I don't like, I'm like, yeah, let's try something else, and we'll get there. And Dave and Cam is really good at picking us up and figuring out, like, all right, what are we going to put to this next? Let's make this full. So, yeah, he writes great. He's a great guitarist. With all of us collaborating together, it's good music coming out. So.
When you recorded this, was the whole band together for the recording for the new album?
Yeah, that was one of the really cool, great things about Mark Dahm. So at the Warehouse Studio, I had, we'd chopped, and I talked with Mark probably, it was 2 years ago, right about now. And Ashley and I, my wife, / the manager of the band,
Yes.
the boss, we went down there and met him, and I was impressed. He was honest. He's a straight shooter. He knows what he's doing. And I was kind of going, I don't want to, make a giant production out of this. I want to do this the old-fashioned way. I want to track it live, everybody in the room, and let's go. And he was on board with that. That's how he wanted to do it. So we just showed up, rehearsed, and everything but the steel. We did the steel track separate, but bass, drums, and guitar, we just played them just a couple takes each, and that was that. And then I just went back and did vocals over the top.
Oh, fantastic! I know Mark does love tradition too. He still has analog gear when everybody else is pretty much 100% digital now, and so his whole attitude toward how he produces is great. I do have to ask one question though, because listening to the album, I did notice there are some instrumental intros that go more than 8 seconds. How did you get him to allow that?
Right, yeah, he doesn't like intros.
He doesn't
and
like
I
long
have
intros.
a hard time with that. He did do, when we were doing mixes, he'd be like, here's a radio edit, and he'd cut it down or something, and and on some occasions I was kind of going, that's better, you're right. He goes, that's a live version, save it for live. But
Yeah, so I know that he always talks about that with the different artists that have been in, there will always be something that he has a story to as well. So what is the story this band has about working with Mark Dahm?
well, oh man, I could tell a story or two.
Oh, don't tell that.
There's more than one.
There's a lot.
The great thing about Mark is he shoots you straight.
True.
And when he kind of gets in there, where he's really kind of a genius, he doesn't say anything that's going to break you down. It's not in his interest, like if I'm the singer. He doesn't want to break my confidence down through a session. So he won't say, hey, that was bad. He'll say, that wasn't your strongest. Let's do that again. And for our credit, I feel like we all know it too, where Cam, he just picks his own bass parts apart,
I could go back
pretty
and do that a lot
intricately.
better. Yeah.
But we know it when we've got it.
I think one of the best things about Mark was the second we walked in and he said, "You guys are here to have fun, and if you're not having fun, turn around and get back out."
Yeah.
And that was a notable thing. We were all there to be together and enjoy the experience together instead of just going in and working. It was fun for all of us. So
It really was.
Dave, when it comes to being part of a recording and part of an album and so forth, with the time that you've spent around music, you've obviously seen it change in so many ways.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy about still getting into a studio and cutting something new?
Well, hearing the playback is always exciting for the first time on every song, you know.
And then what do you enjoy about being able to be a part of that? I mean, are you listening specifically, for yours to self-critique, or
Oh,
do you
I'm my
hear
own
do you hear
worst-
the band?
He's pretty critical.
I'm
of
my own
himself.
worst critic.
Okay,
100%.
yeah. Well, I think a lot of people in music are, though, aren't they? Because if you've got that huge ego, because everybody has to have a little bit of ego to be able to get up on stage, perform for people, and so forth. But, there are those that have the head that won't go through a front door. But I think everybody, the vast majority of everybody that I talk to, no matter what the art form is their own worst critic. Yeah, and that helps things grow, though, by the same confidence, too, doesn't it? Yeah.
I'd say.
All right. So, Cameron, do you get to improvise?
Oh, absolutely.
You do?
Yeah, there's a lot
Okay.
of creative freedom with everything we do. Again, everything we do is to build each other up and to make it better.
Right,
So
yeah.
flat out, if we don't like something, I think you could do that better. You
Yeah.
know, that's okay.
Get the old, it's not your strongest
No.
version.
And if
Yeah.
if what I'm playing isn't a fit either, it's great to have that productive criticism to know, hey, this could be better, and wait for it because
All
it's
right.
coming.
Do you have the 4-string, or are you a 5-string bass guy?
Just 4-string P
Just
bass
4.
guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Now, Dave, what about you? One of the great questions I always love to ask about a guitarist is, how many guitars do you own?
Oh, God.
He's got a museum in his basement.
35, I guess.
You win the award.
Yeah.
That's the most I've heard of out of everybody so far.
In this band, I play a Carter 12-string universal pedal
Okay.
steel. It's got 3 floor pedals and 5 knee levers. Volume
All
pedal.
right. Tell us what all of those do. Most of us
raise
are
or-
familiar. We've seen a steel guitar.
You play your little piano over there.
Yeah, they raise or lower the strings. Each pedal has a different
Okay.
function. It might raise or lower 2 different strings on the neck. So you can basically get about every chord just in the open position without doing anything, just using your right hand and your levers.
Wow.
So it's complicated, but
I was
it's
going to
been
say,
fun.
the way you just said you could get, basically your chord in just that little bit and so
Yeah.
forth. But it's like, no, this sounded like it takes a little bit of learning. There's a bigger curve on this.
Well, I was told if you can play a pedal steel guitar well, which I don't know if I do or not, but you can land a 747. I mean, all the training you need.
I think it would be safe to fly with you, Dave.
Absolutely.
I'd be nervous. he'd
Well,
fall
I
asleep.
think that the band kind of flies together well anyway, doesn't it?
I think
for the
so.
most part.
Yeah.
First time they had me come out for, to just rehearsal and jam and see if it would work at
Right.
all. I just immediately liked all these guys. It's just, I've never melded so good with a group before, I don't think. It's working out very
So
well.
how many different groups have you played with then?
Oh, gosh. Do I count the ones that were only lasted 2 weeks?
You bet.
I don't know. I haven't.
Have to ask Vicky. She probably knows
Yeah,
better than
my
you.
wife would probably know better than I would. Quite a few.
And now, did she buy the shirt for you, or did you?
No,
buy
I
that
got
one?
this
You got
at
that
a
one.
Western store. I love Western shirts.
Yeah, it's classic. I love it. It's got a couple of guitars and on each side, and pearl buttons.
Pearl buttons
Yeah,
and
pearl
piping.
snaps. Yeah.
He looks the best out of all of us every
I
time.
know.
always
Hey,
Progress.
I'm just the old man that sits behind the
Dangerous,
pedal
Dave.
steel. These guys get into the music and do a little bobbing and weaving and having fun, and I'm stuck in my seat back there, which I'm just fine with that.
Colin, how do you describe the music of CoJo and Co?
Yeah, well,
I had my description of it earlier.
Yep, and I'd love to hear more about what you think because we really haven't had a whole lot of people get to listen to it yet and give us reactions. But I think especially in country music, you got to live it. You got to live in it for a little while before you can kind of figure it out. And that's the case for me. and when I was kind of trying to think of singers I like James Hetfield, John Fogerty, and like Jamie Johnson. You know, it's not. I'm not looking to be Rascal Flatts. And I think, as far as a sound goes, you always hear people trying to name drop or talk about. They got to drop a Haggard or whatever.
Right.
You know, but we're not from Nashville. This is South Dakota music. We got a lot of bikers that come through these bars. You know, they like when you really listen to that honky tonk, to that country, that blues. I mean, it's got a swing. And it can be heavy, and it hits hard. You know, it's just as much Foghat as it is, you know, Whitey Morgan.
Yeah.
And for us, it goes the whole gamut.
You know, for me, I love all music, and I'm especially fond of jazz because it's American. But I grew up a kid loving rock and roll. You know, had the 17 3-minute version of Inagata Davida. And Bachman Turner Overdrive was one of my first. It was the first. It's displayed right there. It was the first 8-track that I ever purchased. But what I've always loved is the Southern rock aspect. Huge Charlie Daniels band fan. And then, you know, when we had the 38 Special and bands like that out and about, and I still love, you know, picking up, hearing some Van Zandt, and anybody along that line that came from
Molly
the roots.
Hackett.
Yeah, you know, that came from those roots down in the Florida area and so forth. And it's always been I think it provides, you know, such a great crossover for country and rock. And, you know, we see a lot of specials now on TV, you know, Crossroads and so forth. And I was just listening the other day and remembered that there was this great, I think it was a Doobie Brothers song that Blake Shelton was singing with them on. And it's like, man, love that mix, you know? What is it you guys love about this type of music then? Dave, how about you? You know,
It's fun.
Fun.
We have fun when we play. The crowd gets into it, makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
And I look forward to every gig that we have coming up. So.
Do they make you do the load in and load out?
No, they take it easy on me.
That's excellent. Where all are you traveling this year then?
Oh, well, I think we'll be at Fish Days, like clear down by Lake Andes. We'll be up in Watertown at their, is it Thursday Night Live? Yep, doing that. We're in Sioux Falls a little bit. So, yeah, kind of all over the eastern part of the state, I'd say.
Yeah, so you're going to cover a good portion of it. That's great. Lots of busy gigs. But let's say that you have an opening and somebody calls, hey, can we have you? You're going to say yes?
We'll look into it, and if we can do it, we'll do it.
How do they get in touch with you, though?
Oh, they can find us on, our Facebook, Instagram pages. That'll get you right to our booking person, Ashley. She knows the dates. I'm notorious for saying, I think we're open then. We won't be at all. So I really try to avoid committing to something just right there and then, because I almost always are. I'm not
now,
keeping
what
good
about
track.
the other three of you? Do you have other gigs that you do? Do any solo things, or are you just sticking to what comes first with CoJo and Co?
I have a couple of gigs, but main focus is CoJo and Co.
Okay,
what we're doing.
Cameron?
Definitely main focus is here. I'll take some fill-in things here and there, but this is number one for us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
CoJo for me too. My wife Vicky and I have a duo, and we play when I use a looper, and we have a lot. She sings. She's got a wonderful voice. We just played here last Friday at the old Courthouse Museum winter concert series, and that was a blast.
I tell you, I would play with Vicky any day. She's great. She's great.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
What is it that makes a band a good band? Instead of just four people getting together,
you just have to be low pressure, give each other some grace, and if if there's something, whether it be a date or a song or whatever, if someone says I don't like it, scratch, whatever, or work around it. For us, if we throw a date out there for a gig and somebody can't do it, even if it's somebody's grandma's funeral or something, nobody gets upset. It's
Right.
Just try to stay low pressure. Just remember we're all humans.
How often do you rehearse?
Doing about once a week. Once we
Okay.
get busy with gigging, we don't really practice at all. We'll
'Cause you gotta-
play once or twice
right.
a week already.
You get the feeling of it and everything else. How many new songs do you bring to a practice?
Oh, we kind of work them a little bit at a time. 4 to 5 hours of music. That's a lot of music.
That
It
is.
is.
And you kind of get a little like, boy, we haven't played this one in months, So you kind of circulate them back. But we'll do, try and work through one or two new ones. We're kind of doing that now, But for us, we kind of have high standards to where we want it tight, and we want to work it up. We play it our way, throw in parts where we can throw some leads around or have some fun with them. I'd say, fellas, right?
And the beauty is you're always writing new music too. So I mean, there's always new stuff coming
Right.
to practice that is original. So that's even more fun to work.
Yeah, and of course the fact that you play live is a huge thing, because a good friend of mine, he is known for saying that live music is good for the soul. Dave, I especially loved what you said about Colin, the fact that he's lived it in terms of his lyrics and so forth. And how do you see that having changed over the years that you've been involved in bands? Because there was a time that, people wrote their originals, and then all of a sudden then it became a lot of singer-songwriters and so forth. And
Yeah, the old school, sometimes people would write songs, the moon in June, I'm going to swoon.
yeah,
No, not Colin.
Yeah.
His words are from the heart and from personal experiences. It's just a joy to play them.
is it easier to play something like that then?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's
like
got-
But tell you
tricky
what,
stuff around
when
here.
we're done and we get it tight, oh yeah.
then it
Definitely
was all
worth
worth it
it.
then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent. So the lovely question that I always like to end with, and we'll just go around the table here. So, Josh, when
Yes.
you're not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Ooh.
Oh, don't say that.
Spending time with my kids.
Okay.
Spending time with my kids and my wife. Basically teaching them how to play music. If not doing that, going to their basketball games, or going out to the in-laws' house and hot tub or something. Just spending time with family.
Yeah. Any hobbies?
No, not really. Just drumming and
Yeah.
Stuff like
Typically the hobbies question gets very little
yeah.
answers.
Or like playing with my subwoofer or something. Like I
Uh-huh.
like messing with like sound and things like that. So
Excellent. Colin, how about you?
I hang with my wife. She's my best friend. We watched Jurassic Park, and she was wearing her Jurassic Park T-shirt just yesterday. The OG #1. But past that, I'm a guitar geek.
Yeah.
I read about it, watch videos. I'm like learning and reading manuals on amps, and sometimes Dave and I shoot stuff back and forth about we're trying to collect the next thing, and the wives are telling us no.
And how many guitars do you own?
Oh, well, I don't. Okay, I don't know. Maybe 8 or 10.
Actually, how many guitars does he own?
I like amps as much as I like guitars.
Okay.
So
Yeah, the whole Marshall set, right?
I really like
It's
the
all of
Marshalls.
sound.
Yeah.
plethora of sound.
Any other hobbies?
Oh, it's just that and
Just
all
that.
the exercising.
Okay.
Pretty sure when we were
Stay healthy.
recording, he was like knocking the dust off the ceiling with his rig. He had like 3 rigs lined up, and he was playing super loud. All the dust was coming down.
Yeah, I grew
How
up.
to measure it out? By dust.
That's when I was growing up and trying to learn to play guitar. My guitar heroes, it was like a secret how they got their sound. On our stuff, Dave and I, we're real specific on what we wanted to use. It was our gear, like the stuff you're hearing. It's not the studios. It's
Right.
not digital. It's got tubes in it. It's getting really hot, and we're playing it really loud.
Cameron, when not a part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Well, I like spending time with my 2 boys at home, and I do mechanic work for a living, so I always like going to car shows and stuff like that.
Excellent.
Wrenching on stuff of my own. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's-
where do you work as a mechanic? Give him a free plug here.
I work for a local school district, actually fixing school buses.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
No plug to have there. So,
Yeah. Well,
But
but you're doing an important thing.
yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy working with kids, and I really have a blast with it. So
Yeah. All right, Dave.
I guess my hobbies are when I can have a chance to see my 3 grown sons and their children.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-laws. We have a lake place up at Lake Thompson, so in the summertime we like to spend a lot of time up there.
Any
my wife
fishing?
and I both retired at the same time, so I've got nothing but free time.
Good for you.
What are you going to do tomorrow when you get up? Anything I want.
Fantastic. All right. Well, CoJo and Co. New album coming out. Where can people find it, Colin?
Anywhere they get their digital music, iTunes, Spotify.
Fantastic. And we're going to play some right now. First of all, thank you all for taking time out of your evening to be able to come over here to the Dipsy Doodle Production Studios. And thanks again for the gift.
Well, we were really excited to come and get to talk
All
to
right.
you, Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Dave.
it's been my pleasure.
Great.
So here's CoJo and Co. from their new album.
say the word cancer at our house. Spend too much time dreaming about being where we are now. She don't stop to smell the roses, got her head up in the clouds. She's a roaring spring breakup, or I'm the summer powder in a drought. And the knockdowns and the dragouts, we've had more than a few. Like a rolling tide, just a turning two stones, we'll wore our corners smooth. It's all part of the ride, holding on for dear life. Through the good times and the hard ones, till one of us dies. All I know is I'm better with her by my side. I'm getting better with time. It's all part of the ride. She's a ghost in all the chords to every song of mine. And when I put that pen to paper, she's on my mind. You can't heal without the pain, can't grow hay without the rain. And after the fall and the winter squalls, it'll grow again. She's an echo in the fog of a heartbreak long forgot. And all around by the grace of God keeps calling me on home. It's all part of the ride, holding on for dear life. Through the good times and the hard ones, till one of us dies. All I know is I'm better with her by my side. I'm getting better with time. It's all part of the ride. And if you should die before me, ask if you could bring a friend. Wherever you go, that's where I'll be forever. Amen. It's all part of the ride, holding on for dear life. Through the good times and the hard ones, till one of us dies. All I know is I'm better with her by my side. I'm getting better with time. It's all part of the ride. Two rolling stones on the tide. It's all part of the ride.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffitt Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
I'm speaking with my grandpa Dave, but I just call him Dave.
Thanks again to my great guests, all the wonderful members of CoJo and Co., and being able to play some of their music. Thanks to them owning the copyrights. And, of course, thank you for listening, downloading, sharing, following on social media, and your overall support of this show. If you haven't so far, make sure you follow us on Facebook and or Instagram. Automatically gets you entered for Pizza with a Podcaster. For all 169 episodes, go online at davehollyhour.com. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by Posh Boutique, The Sky in Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and Sonny's Pizzeria. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to davehollyhour.com and look for a coffee cup icon in the lower left. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook, and you'll be automatically entered in our Pizza with a Podcaster contest. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.